Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in to another video. I just had a little bit of a deadhead restoration project come up today, and I figured it'd be a great opportunity to film it and show you guys just how I do it. So this is the head we're going to be restoring this go around. Pretty awesome mule deer. He's not in terrible shape, but definitely could use some love. Going to be whitening that skull eventually here too. But for starters, got some cracks to fill on those antlers. Then we're going to be returning them to a natural color. Give you guys a little better look at this guy and see what we're working with here. Got a few cracks on the inside there. A couple of them over here as well. So it's not terrible, but definitely going to want to fill them in before we start coloring. So this is the product I'm using today. It's the 3M. Kind of a 4-in-1 spackling putty deal. Any sort of putty or spackling you've got at your house will work. I really like this stuff, so I'm gonna run with this. But any sort of wood filler, anything you guys got, will do the job. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit to the antler like that. Using a rag, I'm just gonna rub it in, try to fill in those cracks. Alright, so as you can tell, did some work filling some of those cracks in, at least some of the major one. There's some hairline little cracks in there. Not going to worry too much about those, but filled them in the best I can. Now we're ready to start coloring them. Alright, well, I've got this guy drying behind me. Should take 15 to 30 minutes, not too terribly long with the spackling. I'll give you guys a rundown of what I'm going to be using to color the antlers. Right here, it's just some potassium permanganate. Works super good for coloring the antlers. And then a little pro tip for you guys. A lot of people use water mixture with their potassium. I use rubbing alcohol. It'll speed up your process a bunch, and you'll be able to get your results a lot quicker. Alright, before you start this next process, always lay something down. Stuff can cause a mess and it will stain whatever it touches. Then of course your rubbing alcohol and your permanganate, then a bowl and a brush to apply it to the antlers. So I'm just going to grab some of this rubbing alcohol here. Just put a little bit down there in the bowl. Then with this stuff, a little bit goes a long way. So for starters, I'm just going to grab a pinch of it and add it to the bowl. A little more here. Stir that up a little bit. As you guys see here, when I apply it to the antler, it's going to be a bright purple, but once it dries, it'll turn a nice brown color. And just a heads up for you guys, this is going to take a lot of coats, especially when you start lighter. I always do it that way, just so you don't go too dark, because it's hard to correct from there. So it's going to be tons of coats. Just keep hitting it. Eventually you'll get the color you want. Alright, so that's how it looks after adding a few coats of that permanganate. Don't stress if it looks like that. I know it's kind of an unnatural brown color right now, but we still have a few more steps to make them look a little more natural. So for right now, we're going to take the sandpaper to it, add some highlights into the antler. Alright, so we just finished up the sanding portion of that. As you can tell, we got some highlights in there. Starting to look a little more realistic. Not quite finished with it yet, but it's getting there. Alright, for the final step here, we're going to apply some Murphy oil soap. What I'll do here is just dab a little bit of this on a paper towel or a rag, whatever you got, and then just kind of lightly rub it in. As you can see here, as you rub that oil soap in, kind of starts bringing out some of the highlights and some of those dark spots to give it a good contrast to make it look lifelike. And there you guys have it, a full antler restoration, starting from filling in the cracks to coloring the antlers. I think he turned out pretty good. Of course, he's not going to be perfect because it is a deadhead, but thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for some more videos.